Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth, you're watching the Planeswalker Pantheon, and today we are going to be opening up a collector's box of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Anyways, enough chit chat, you know what these are. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh wait, there we go. Got it. Alright. Some really cool, the artwork on this kind of reminds me of Biker Mice on Mars, if you ever watched that cartoon as a young kid. Alright, so we have 12 wonderful packs of collector's boosters. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, first up, alright, let's see what we've got in here today. There we go, finally. These are a bit of a struggle lately. Are they making these packs out of different material, I wonder? Alright, so we've got foil commons. Oh, 2 commons already. We've got a high-speed hover bike, roadside reliquary, era of enlightenment is our foil saga. We've got a foil gorgeous land. We have a 7-tailed mentor, a foil guardians of Arobo in the alternate art, a Fang of Shingeki. We have a foil covert technician. This is probably one of my favourite alternate arts in this set. And our first rare is Ishin, 2 Heavens is 1. So for the red, white, and black, so for Mardu, you get a legendary creature, human samurai. It's a 3/4. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of an opponent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So for those samurai, it's great for the samurai deck. We have an expanded art aerial surveyor. So for 2 and a white, you get an artifact vehicle. It's a 3/4 flying. When it attacks, if the defending player controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic plains, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle and crew it for 2. So, great, even more really good white mana ramp right there. And we have a tribute to Hirobi. So for 1 and a black, you get a enchantment saga. For the first 2 chapters, each opponent creates a 1/1 black rogue creature token. And for the 3rd chapter, it transforms to Echo of Death's Wail, which is a 3/3 enchantment creature spirit with flying and haste. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of all rat tokens. Whenever Echo of Death's Wail attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Ooh, and we have a full art Kyodai Soul of Kamigawa. So for 3 and a white, you get a legendary creature dragon spirit with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, another target opponent gains indestructible for as long as you control Kyodai. And for the full Wooburg, it gets +5/+5 until end of turn. Ooh, and we have a foil alt art Ishin 2 Heavens is 1 as well. So we've got this is a side-by-side comparison. We have the original and the alt art anime frame. Very nice. There's so many cool stuff, I don't know how to pile them anymore. So we'll say rares and foil rares, alt arts, full arts, and expanded. There we go, that'll work just fine, I think. I think I can shift some of these piles around a little bit as well now that I sort of know how I'm setting this up. This is always the worst. Next. There we go. And we've got our treasure token and I believe it was a samurai token on the other side. Not that anyone really cares about these. So we've got some foil commons. We've got a Thirst for Knowledge and a Blossom Prancer and an Azusa's Many Journeys as our foil uncommons. We've got a Foily Swamp. We have a Jukai Trainee, Heiko Yamazaki, the General in a foil alt art, Coiling Stalker, Inkrise Infiltrator. Our foil rare is Invoke Despair, so for 1 and quad black, you get a sorcery. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Then repeat this process for an enchantment and a planeswalker. We have an expanded art Komainu Battle Armor, so for 2 and a red, you get an artifact creature equipment dog. It's a 2/2. with Menace. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Menace. And when it or the equipped creature deals combat damage, go to each creature that player controls and you can reconfigure it for 4. Or we have a full art Takenuma Abandoned Mire. So it's a legendary land, enters play untapped, taps for black. For 3 and a black, you have to channel it to mill 3 cards, then return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand, and it costs 1 less for each legendary creature you control. We have, an old frame Ogre Head Helm. So for 1 and a red, you get a creature equipment Ogre. It's a 2/2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. When the helm or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. If you do, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards, and you can reconfigure it for 3. Oh, and we have a foil Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I think this is actually the alternate artwork, because some of the sagas have alternate arts from memory. So for 2 and a red, you get a saga. For the first chapter, it creates a 2/2 red Goblin Shaman, where whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. Second chapter has you discard up to 2 cards and draw that many, and then when it transforms into Reflection of Kiki Jiki. It's a 2/2 enchantment creature Goblin Shaman. With 1 untapped, to create a token that's a copy of another target non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste, so it gives you a Kiki Jiki. Who doesn't love a Kiki Jiki? Alright, so and then we've got our Pilot and Samurai token right there. Alright, next up. Alright, so we got some foil commons. We've got an Assassin's Ink, Produce Prototype, and a foil Saga of the Modern Age. We have a cool Swamp. Our first alternate art is Reinforced Ronin. We have an Heir of the Ancient Fang foil. We have a Futurist Operative, pardon me. We have a foil Mutakai Ambusher in the alt frames. And we got a foil rare in Kyrie the Swirling Sky. So for 4 and 2 blue, you get a legendary creature Dragon Spirit. It's a 6/6 with flying and ward 3. When it dies, you choose 1. Return any number of target non-land permanents with total mana value 6 or less to their owner's hands, or mill 6 cards, then return up to 2 target instant or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. We have a stretched expanded art Organic Extinction. So for 8 mana and 2 white, it's a sorcery. You can improvise it to destroy all non-artifact creatures. We have a March of Reckless Joy. So for X and a red, you get an instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of red cards from your hand. It costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Exile the top X cards of your library. You may play up to 2 of those cards until the end of your next turn. We have a rare saga in Teachings of the Kiran. So for 1 and a green, you get a enchantment saga. For the first chapter, it has you mill 3 cards and create a 1/1 color spirit creature token. Second chapter has you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and then it transforms into Kiran Touched Orochi. I think these are all the alternate frame ones. It's an enchantment creature Snake Monk. It's a 1/1. When it attacks, you choose 1. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. When you do, create a 1/1 color spirit creature token. Exile target non-creature card from a graveyard. When you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on it on target creature you control. We have a expanded art foil Gorogoro Disciple of Ryusei. So for 1 and a red, you get a legendary creature Goblin Samurai. It's a 2/2. For a single red, creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. For 3 and 2 red, you get to create a 5/5 red Dragon Spirit token with flying. Activate only if you control an attacking modified creature. So I think we'll do this here. And we've got a treasure token and a spirit token. I hope that I am sorting these out, although that could be future me's problem. Next pack. Alright, so we've got some couple foil commons. We have a Reinforced Ronin, Replication Specialist, Long Reach of Night. We've got a nice foily mountain. We have a Ganjo Exemplar, Sunblade Samurai in foil, Dekechi Shadow Walker, Nezumi Prowler in foil, all in the alt art frames. Our foil rare is March of Reckless Joy. You won't read it because we've already gone through it. We have an expanded art Rampant Rejuvenator. So for 3 and a green, you get a creature plant Hydra. When it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is its power, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. We have an Invoke the Wind. So for 1 and quad blue, you get a sorcery, gain control of target artifact or creature, and untap it. We have a Springleaf Avenger in the alt art frame. So for 3 and 2 green, you get a creature, Insect Ninja. It's a 6/5 with ninjutsu of 3 and a green. When it deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, and we have a foil alt art of Thousand Face Shadow. So for a single blue, you get a 1/1 creature human ninja with flying. It can ninjutsu it for 2 and 2 blue. When it enters the battlefield from your hand, if it's attacking, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. We have a blue, one of the ninjas for Kaito. I've never actually seen this artwork before, and of course a samurai. Alright, next up. Alright, so we got a couple of commons. We have a Goshitai of Hidden Cruelty, Mech Hanger, Befriend the Moths, a foily island. We have a Nezumi Blade Blesser, Seven-Tailed Mentor in foil, Covert Technician, Fang of Shingeki in foil. Oh, we got another Fable of the Mirror Breaker. This is the regular artwork, so because in the other one we opened the alt art, I believe. But we'll show off both sides just in case. We have a full extended art Swift Reconfiguration, probably one of the better removal spells, I believe, that we saw from the Commander decks. So I just remembered I hadn't read this. So for a single white, you can enchantment Aura with Flash, enchant creature or vehicle. Enchanted Permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5 and loses all other card types. Apparently there's some really cool combos you can do with this as well. We have an Ogre Head Helm, which we have read before, but in the extended art. Oh, we've got an alt art Ganjo Uprising. So for X red and white, you get a sorcery. Create 2/2 white samurai creature token. Create X 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. They gain menace and haste. Each opponent creates X -1 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. And we got a foil extended art Soul Transfer. So for 1 and 2 black, you get a sorcery. Choose one. If you control an artifact and enchantment, as long as you cast the spell, you may choose both. Exile target creature or planeswalker, and return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. We have a foily human monk and spirit token. Alright, next. Alright, so we've got a couple of foil commons. We have a Selfless Samurai, and a Flame Discharge, and a Kumano faces Kakazan. Foily Pretty Forest. We have a Sunblade Samurai, a Jukai Trainee in foil, in the alternate art. We have a Moon Circuit Hacker, and a Coiling Striker, all also in foil. We have a Tameshi Reality Architect. So for 2 and a blue, you get a legendary creature Moonfolk Wizard. It's a 2/3. Whenever 1 or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And for X and a white, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. We have an extended art Unquenchable Fury. So for 2 and a Radiant Enchantment Aura, you enchant a creature. Enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, it deals X damage to defending player, where X is the number of cards in their hand. And when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to your hand. So it kind of has the Rancor effect. Ooh, we've got a full art Kaito Shizuki. So for, in the alternate frame too. So for 1 blue and black, your legendary planeswalker Kaito. Starts at 3 loyalty. At the beginning of your end step, if Kaito entered the battlefield this turn, he phases out. +1 to draw a card, then discard a card unless you attacked this turn. -2, create a 1/1 blue ninja creature token with this creature can't be blocked. And for -7, you get an emblem with whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a blue or black creature card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. That's real nice. Oh, we've got an alternate frame March of Otherworldly Light. I love this artwork actually. So for X and a white, you get an instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile n number of white cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. Ooh, and we have a full, an extended frame Ishin 2 Heavens as one in foil. Alright, and we have a pilot and a samurai token right there. Next up. I love that all the alternate art rat cards kind of remind me of Biker Rats from Mars. Got some foil commons. We have an Awakened Awareness in foil, Jukai Naturalist in foil, and Akiba Rechneraid as our saga. We have a foily cool mountain. We have an Asari Captain in the alternate frame, a Reinforced Ronin in the in foil in the alt frame, which is probably one of my favourite artworks. Moonsnare Specialist. I'm also going to hear me say a lot of these cards are my favourite artworks. I'm not going to lie to you. And we have a Futurist Operative, also in foil in the alt frame. Our foil rare is March of Burgeoning Life, so for X and a green you get an instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of green cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Choose target creature with mana value less than X. Search your library for a creature card with the same name as that creature, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. We have an expanded art Kosei Penitent Warlord. This is the mono green commander from the red green commander deck. So for 1 and 2 green, you get a legendary creature Ogre Samurai. It's a 0/5. As long as Kosei Penitent Warlord is enchanted, equipped, and has a counter on it, it has whenever Kosei Penitent Warlord deals combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards, and Kosei deals that much damage to each other opponent. We have an extended art Eater of Virtue, so for 1 mana you get a legendary artifact equipment. When the equipped creature dies, exile it. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. As long as a card exiled with Eater of Virtue has the equipped creature has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Life Link, Menace, Protection, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Ooh, we've got a full art Beseiju Who Endures. This art's really nice. It's a legendary land. You tap it for green. You can channel it for 1 and green to destroy a target artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land an opponent controls. That player may search their library for a land with a basic land type, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. And it costs 1 less for each legendary creature you control. Ooh, and we've also got... Oh, that's a full art right there. We've also got a Reckoner Bankbuster. So for 2 mana, you get an artifact vehicle. It's a 4/4. It enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. For 2 and tap and remove a charge counter from the Bankbuster, you draw a card. Then, if there are no counters on the Bankbuster, create a treasure token and a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature cruise vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater and can crew it for 3. And we have a treasure and a spirit token right there. Next up. Alright. So we've got a couple foil commons. We have a Twin Shot Sniper, Orochi Merge Keeper, Michiko's Reign of Truth. We have a lovely foily forest. We have an Imperial Subduer in the alt frame. We have an Aki Ronin in foil in the alt frame. We have a Silver Fur Master in the alt frame. And a foil Coiling Stalker in the alt frame. Our rare is Invoke Justice. So for 1 and 4 white, you get a sorcery. Return target opponent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures and/or vehicles target player controls. We have an extended art Iron Soul Enforcer. So for 4 and a white, you get an artifact creature human samurai. It's a 4/4. When it or a commander you control attacks alone, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh, we have an extended art Blade of the Oni. So for 1 and a black, you get an artifact creature equipment demon. It's a 3/1 with menace. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 5/5, has menace, and is a black demon in addition to its other colors and types, and you can reconfigure it for 2 and 2 black. We have an Invoke the Ancients in the alternate art. So for 1 and 4 green, you get a sorcery crit, 2, 4, 5 green spirit creature tokens. For each of them, put your choice of a vigilance counter, a reach counter, or a trample counter on it. And we have a foil extended art Mindlink mech. So for 2 and a blue, you get an artifact vehicle. It's a 4/3 with flying. Whenever Mindlink mech becomes crewed for the first time each turn, until end of turn, Mindlink mech becomes a copy of target non-legendary creature that crewed this turn, except it's a 4/3. It's a vehicle artifact in addition to its other types, and it has flying, and you can crew it for 1. Oh, we have a rat rogue and a samurai. I can't remember what makes specifically rat rogues. I know the Hirobi card makes rats. Unless they are making rat rogues, I cannot immediately recall. Alright. Got a couple of foil commons. We have a Circuit Mender, Leech Gauntlet, Tales of Master Seshiro as our saga. We have a foily Pretty Plains. We have an Aki Ronin in the alt art. Upriser Renegade. This reminds me of an animated card. This kind of looks a little bit JoJo to me. In terms of the artwork, in foil, we have an Inkrise Infiltrator in the old frame. We have a Blade Blizzard Kitsune in foil in the alt frame. And our rare is Katose the Silent Spider. So for 3, a blue and a black, you get a legendary creature human ninja. When she enters the battlefield, exile target card other than a basic land from an opponent's graveyard. Search out player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Katose, you may play one of the exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any colour to cast it. Oh, we got the extended art Goodest Boy. It's Yoshimaru Ever Faithful. So for 1 and a white, you get a legendary creature dog. It's a 1/1. Whenever another legendary opponent enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Yoshimaru Ever Faithful, and he has partner, because he's waiting for his master to return. We have an extended art Invoke Despair, which we've gone through already. We have an alternate frame Light Paws Emperor's Voice. So for 1 and a white, you get a legendary creature Fox Advisor. It's a 2/2. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura, and with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light Paws Emperor's Voice, then shuffle. And we've got the extended art as well, which we will not read through. We have Kaito Shizuki's emblem and a spirit token. Alright, next up. Alright, so we've got a couple of foil commons. We have a Dragon Spark Reactor, Goshitai of Boundless Vigor, and a Shattered States Era. We have a foily Pretty Forest. We have Norika Yamazaki the Poet in the alternate frame. We have a Niganjo Exemplar in the foil alt art. Mutakai Ambusher in the alt art. And a foil Moonsnare Specialist in the alt art. Our rare is the good old Mirror Box. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1, and each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. We have an extended art Katsumura the Animator. So for 2 and 2 blue, you get a legendary creature Moonfolk Artificer. It's a 3/3 flying. For 2 and a blue, until end of turn, target non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature and gains flying. If it's not a vehicle, it has base power and toughness of 1/1 until end of turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 3 target non-creature artifacts. We have a extended art Ishin Two Heavens is 1. We have an alt art March of Wretched Sorrow. So for X and a black, you get an instant as an additional cost to cast this spell. You may exile any number of black cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. March of Wretched Sorrow deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. Oh, we got a foil alternate art Mirror Box. That art is really cool looking. Yeah, we've already read it, but I just want to take a moment on that art. It's got a treasure and a samurai token right there. Next up. Alright, a couple of foil commons. We have a Covert Technician, Silver Fur Master, The Sedgery Reaches Skyward, a Foily Plains. We have a Peerless Samurai in the alt art, an Imperial Subduer in foil in the alt art. We have a Nezumi Prowler in the alt art, and Mutakai Ambusher in foil in the alt art. We have a foil Hinata Dawn Crown. So for 1 blue, red, and white, you get a legendary creature Kieran Spirit. It's a 4/4 flying and trample. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast for each target. We have a Mjolnir of Towering Might in the extended art. So for 5 and 3 green, you get a legendary creature Spirit. It's an 8/8. It enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. Indestructible counter on it if you cast it from your hand. Move an indestructible counter from the Mjolnir of Towering Might. Distribute 8+1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. They gain trample until end of turn. We have a Reckoner Bankbuster in the extended art. We have Thundering Raiju in the alternate art. So for 2 and 2 regular creature Spirit, it's a 3/3 with haste. When it attacks, put a +1/+1 count on target creature you control. Then Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. We have a foil Weaver of Harmony in the extended art. So for 1 and a green, you get an enchantment creature Snake Druid. It's a 2/2. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. And for green and tap, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets for the copy. We have a Pilot and a Spirit. Alright, this is the last pack. As always, the last pack's always the hardest to open. Oh, I'll take that. Finally, so a couple of foil commons. We have a Bronze Plate Boar, Enthusiastic Mechanaut, a Kibo Reckoner Raid, Foily Forest. We have an Aki Ronin in the alt art, Upriser Renegade. Let's be real, that looks like JoJo. We have a Dakuchi Shadow Walker in the alt frame, Coiling Stalker in the in foil in the alt frame, and we have a foil Takanuka, the Abandoned Maya, which we've already read before. We have an Organic Extinction in extended art, March of Swirling Mist. So for X and a blue, you get an instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of blue cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Up to X target creatures phase out. We have a Mindlink Mech in the alternate art. We have a foil extended artwork of Kyodai Soul of Kamigawa. Right there. Oh, okay, that's fine. I thought there was going to be a little bit more in that pack, to be honest. That kind of felt a little bit light. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe. It lets people know that we exist and that we're making content. You can follow me on Twitter. Links are down below. You can also find us on the Planeswalker Pantheon on Facebook. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.